to my channel, I would have, appreciate the love shown by persons who would have viewed, and the few subscribers I have, and that list is growing. And I have to be thankful for that. There are some issues that has been plaguing us over the years and even in recent time. Since the advent of COVID, we have been having some serious issues. It is a local issue, it is an international issue. Even the big countries are having such an issue. For this session, we want to look at, inflation. We also want to look at food security, and to some extent, we can look at the whole sustainability. So, have a good time. Ensure that you leave a comment on the content provided. We will show a number of clips to sort of concretize some of the information shared. As it relates to inflation, persons have been getting, their salary, their pay, and sometimes it just is blown away. Again, in order to understand the whole issue or how things goes, we have to understand the term inflation. And the term inflation, as stated by the Bank of Jamaica, it is the rate at which the general price level of consumer goods and services in the economy change over time. So when inflation happens, there is more money needed to purchase the same quantity of goods and services. So this has to be a great issue. To further look at inflation, we have some causes, and we may blame COVID to be the major cause of inflation. But inflation is normally caused, by the public or the government spending too much money. Could also be as a result of, say, the increase in prices of international goods or goods on the international scene. So that could have been an issue too as it relates to inflation. When we look at it, we realize that, goods are being used and the cost of these products that have been produced are increasing. And yet persons aren't getting increased salary or increased wages. And that is going to further drive inflation up. What is food security? Because inflation is going to drive, food security either to the negative extreme or to the positive extreme. But when inflation increases, then we will have to check and see, are we food secure or are we food insecure? And then we have to check. But first we need to have an idea of what is food security. And I will look at two main definitions. One stated by FAO, right? Food and Agriculture Organization, and the other by USAID. But first by FAO. FAO look at the whole concept of food security to be, food security would exist when all people at all times have physical and they have economic access to sufficient, safe, nutritious food that meet their dietary need and food preference for an active and healthy life. So you see how complex it is? It is not simple. Again, the clips will be posted, and you can always see or you get added information there. And that definition from USAID would have been similar. It referring to having food at all times, right? Both physical and economic access to sufficient food to meet dietary needs for a productive and healthy life. So both definition would have been sort of being related. And then we can look at, some pillars that sort of hold up food security, right? And there are some main areas, and then we look at them and we will look at whether, whether we are food secure or we are food insecure. That's very important that we sort of know where we stand. And food security rests on four pillars, four main pillars, and sometimes some other pillars are included. But from FAO, we can quote safely. One pillar would have been the food availability, and the second would have been food access. A third, the utilization of the food, and the stability. Those are the four, and I repeat, food availability, food access, utilization, and stability. Very important issue, and again, I'll post information, or you may see the information popping up. But are we food secure? You can leave a comment, in the comment section. What is your assessment of your country, of your parish, of your state? Is it food secure? And what can you use to measure if it is food secure? Right? Drop a comment there and let us, know what you are thinking or how your country is doing. We can be food secure in our own area, or some persons may refer to it as being self-sufficient. So you have what you need. But is the country or is the state food secure? Very important issue. But when we speak of food security, then we need to incorporate the whole concept of sustainability, or sustainable agriculture, or sustainable production, where we can produce with the aim of preserving the environment, reducing erosion, so that future generation will benefit and not having to plug a large hole that we would have created by doing things negatively. Right? Very, very important. We can start in our own homes. We can do container gardening. We can prepare our soil and not use synthetic chemicals or fertilizers. We create or make composts. So we would have been eating what we grow, and ultimately would grow what we want to eat. And these are our mantra of successive government, especially in Jamaica. One point in the 70s and again in the 2000s. So it is very important. And again, you'll have pop-up of information as it relates to this issue. But it's very important. That we do things sustainably by creating less havoc for future generation. Again, you are on Malachi's perspective. Leave a line or two of comment. If you like the presentation, put a note there. And I would want you to subscribe. Let us keep the channel growing. Thank you very much.